Hello and welcome to the Ditto educational series that will provide you with the skills you need to become a Forex trader. We have looked at many different ways of assessing support and resistance on Ditto trade, but today we will look at the compelling study of psychological whole numbers and their practical application in technical analysis. If you look over previous data or have been trading the charts for long enough, you may have noticed that prices will have a tendency to react surrounding a rounded number. As we see here, we have a well-respected resistance level that has been tested multiple times, and generally price reacts and rejects at this whole number. The term parity can be used in a few ways when trading, but always as an expression of equality. The most common use of parity is in the Forex market, and it signifies the point where two currencies have an equal value. That would mean that the exchange rate between the two currencies is exactly 1-to-1. This is where psychological whole numbers can be observed, as people generally have a tendency to value simplicity. Our internal psychology plays a large role in the market behavior surrounding these psychological levels. If someone were to ask you how much you had paid for your car, you would most likely respond with an amount rounded to the nearest 1,000 or 100. People will generally say, I paid 6,000, instead of saying I paid 5,890.99. People will generally want the rounded figure, and not the exact amount. It's fairly unusual to get that response. So what are the whole numbers? Traders will often refer to these whole numbers as double zeros, as the prices are at even numbers such as 1.31000 on Euro USD, 1.57000 on GBP USD, or 132.00 on GBP JPY. Here we have the Euro USD chart with the double zero figures highlighted. There is a definite level of respect in terms of support and resistance surrounding these whole numbers, as you can see here. It's not uncommon for traders to include the midpoint between the whole numbers and highlight the middle of these whole numbers, or the 50s as they're known. These levels also hold some value, as the double zeros do, playing into the psychology of market participants. After adding the midpoints into the previous example, we can now see those looser areas where price didn't quite look right tidied up. Now we see price congesting appropriately along these lines. Note that many of the price swings on the chart take place around one of these levels. This is why we want to incorporate these levels into our support and resistance mindset. Whole numbers can be used as a almost confirmation when considering trade setups. As always in Forex, this is never a sure thing. Not every one of these prices are going to respond as a support or resistance level, but enough do that these levels warrant your interest. Why do psychological levels work? Let's look at a working example. The Euro USD shown here reflects price strongly respecting 1.3000. Each time this price was approached, the currency pair rebounded back up. This can be explained for a few reasons. It's possible that traders simply saw this as a decent price level to buy in at, and it was good value. But more than likely, as traders were opening short positions during the falling market, they set profit targets at an even number. As we know, when a large number of market participants close their sell positions, the profit target order to close creates a demand in the market, which in turn forced the price back up. After the first test, traders may not have been especially bullish on the prospect of pushing price much lower than 1.3000. This price has already been exhibited as support. Untested psychological levels can be viewed a lot like pivot points are. It is an area where there may be some element of support or resistance, but we won't be able to know for sure until after price has tested the level. In general, rounded numbers such as 1.3 on Euro USD will draw more attention than a normal level like 1.31 on Euro USD. Traders will usually assign a higher degree of strength to the more rounded market levels, and you should keep that in mind. Just as we discussed that certain candlesticks show a higher probability, we can view whole numbers the same way, mentally assigning them a degree of strength and likelihood to affect our trades. Whenever we see multiple tests historically where these levels have been supported or resisted, it shows us that others are noticing and acting on these price levels. This increases the likelihood of reversals or rejections, and in our minds we can view them with a higher degree of strength. Please take what you have learned here today and apply it to historical data initially, and then to your future decision making. Contemplate the power of psychological whole numbers and their application within your technical analysis. And remember, contemplation is the key to learning. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed our educational sessions, then please like and subscribe.